Today is May 29th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are Taiwan against national security law and the recall vote of Kaohsiung mayor. First, I want to talk about why is Taiwan against national security law. I think there are two major reasons. First is China's possible military actions toward Taiwan, because after China established the Hong Kong security law yesterday, today China brought up the Anti-Secession Law to deal with Taiwan. There's a meeting in Beijing today for Anti-Secession Law 15th annual meeting. In this meeting, Xi Jinping didn't attend as expected. However, the chairman of the Committee of the National People's Congress, Li Zhanshu, made an announcement. He claimed that as to the issue of Taiwan, China must remain the option of peace and military activities. People think, well, this implies the possibility of invading Taiwan through military forces. And that means that China did not give up the possibility of military invasion in Taiwan. During this period of time, you know that many critics in the world think that after China takes care of Hong Kong, I said take care, and China will put its hands on Taiwan. Foreign Minister Joseph Wu said this before, and actually Li Zhanshu again proved that China won't give up. Well, another reason why Taiwan is against the security law, because this law might be applied to Taiwanese. You know, why do we say that? Because China thinks that this security law applied nationwide, and China claims that Taiwan is a part of China. And therefore, you know, they think Taiwanese people are also restricted by this law. And that means if a Taiwanese behavior considered as supportive to Hong Kong independence, then he or she will be arrested and even sentenced. You might think it's ridiculous. I think so too. And this is very likely to happen in reality. Currently, you know, there are more than 100 Taiwanese caught and arrested in China, accused of secession. And, you know, who judged them? China, and only China. President Tsai went to Causeway Bay Books today to advocate for Hong Kong. She said that the government had established a special group to assist the people of Hong Kong. And she wrote, 自由的台湾撑住香港的自由, and that is Taiwan as a country of freedom supports Hong Kong to be free. Second, I want to talk about the recall vote of Kaohsiung Mayor Han Kuo-yu. 8 more days, which is June the 6th, will be the day for the recall vote of Han Kuo-yu. If he's recalled by voting, even, you know, it's like he will be the first mayor to be recalled while he's still in office. As I mentioned before that, you know, because he became popular in a very short time, but he went off to run for president for only 4 months as a mayor, and people judged him for kind of abandoning the people in Kaohsiung. And plus, he visited to the Hong Kong liaison office. All of this, you know, kind of convinced people that he supported what we call the one country, two system. Well, even though he denied it many, many times. What will be the result of the recall vote? We will see. Here are the top stories. Today, we have one kind of the imported confirmed case, and he is a student who studied in Russia. And The Guardian, you know, kind of published an article right after Chinese parliament approved controversial Hong Kong security law. It wrote, delegates of China's National People's Congress broke out into applause in Beijing's Great Hall of the People after voting through a draft decision that paves the way for sweeping anti-sedition laws to the direct enact in Hong Kong, dealing that critics have called a killer blow to the city's autonomy and freedoms. President Tsai also treated Taiwan for Hong Kong. She said, we will not sit back and watch while Hong Kong's freedom, democracy, and human rights are eroded. And also, she said, all political parties in Taiwan strongly condemn China's decision to bypass Hong Kong's legal process and push for the message and kind of the passage for today's national security law resolution. Taiwan's government and people are united in our support for Hong Kong and universal democratic values. U.S. President Donald Trump said, we're not happy. What else he said, well, we'll be announcing what we're doing tomorrow with respect of China, and we're not happy with China. We're not happy with what happened. He said it twice. So I wonder what will happen tomorrow when he, had a press conference. All over the world, he said that people are suffering. 186 countries. Well, Chinese graduate students may be the next target by U.S.-China and may be hit because, the U.S.-China tensions, kind of talking about it. We want to say that the director of government relations at the American Council of Education, Sarah Sprezer, and she said, we are very worried about how broadly these will be applied. We don't have a lot of details about how they would constitute a university having ties to the Chinese military. I think, I kind of agree with her. I think it will cause some controversy because of two possibilities. First, if the students go to military academy in China, like, what happened, we have the West Point in the United States, then it is clear that this student is related to Chinese military. Second, however, if the student did not go to those places to study, then the U.S. government will have to look into it and see whether they have connection with the military. I wonder what Trump will say, and we'll see it tomorrow. Well, zooming in, we're talking about zooming in anchor Simone Gao interview former White House advisor Steve Bannon, and Bernard said that China went ahead with the law for Hong Kong. Does that mean that they are determined to take Taiwan as well? And let's see that Stephen said that they are more determined than ever, and here is one of the reasons. Taiwan, the Free Republic of China, has basically put to shame the CCP. CCP is the Chinese Communist Party. In particular, Xi's leadership. Beijing has lost few face to Taiwan. Well, he also said it twice. And U.S. Department of State released a joint statement by the government of the United States of America, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom on Hong Kong. And it wrote, China's decision to impose a new national security law on Hong Kong would undermine the one country, two systems framework. It also raises the protest of the prosecution in Hong Kong for political crimes and undermine existing commitments to protest the rights of Hong Kong people. We call on the government of China to work with the Hong Kong SAR government and the people of Hong Kong to find a mutually acceptable accommodations that will honor China's international obligations under the UN-filed Sino-British Joint Declarations. Everybody want to ask Xi Jinping and China to, keep their promises. Well, now, look at this tweet. This tweet is about when the Hong Kong national security law is passed and all these may become illegal. What are illegals? We're talking about this. No more meme or kind of artworks which are against the government allowed. Can anyone in a democratic country and a free society can imagine that? Well, we're talking about this. If this kind of a security law really passed, well, we know that the draft had already passed. And what about in the future? This is the meme saying that I think these two people in the jail, and this big guy said, I killed a man. What about you? And he said, I made memes. And you see this big guy just move away. You can see this is really ironic. That means that in Hong Kong, after the security law is passed, it seems like that, making memes is, committed a more serious crime than killing people. And that's just what happened in Hong Kong. And even say when you get together to get a cup of coffee, you might violate the law. I really can't imagine that. So that will be the view for today. I'm Catherine Chang. I hope you will this weekend. I'll see you next Monday. Have a nice weekend.